to really ask yourself, write it out, think about it, ponder on it, self-reflection, meditate. What sacrifices are worth it? What is going to make you the best version of yourself, and what's going to make you feel like you're in an uncomfortable, triggered state? Just don't try not to make a decision out of desperation, because that usually leads to the wrong choice, because you feel desperate. You feel like you're lacking something, so you need this right away. Try to make a decision that feels peaceful, that feels calm, that you feel secure when you make this decision. You're not hesitating, you're not questioning it, because if you're still questioning it, then it means that it's not the right decision just yet. I'm not saying that it'll never be the right decision, but maybe more things need to align to make that decision the right decision. And going back and forth is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you're indecisive. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It's just that you need time to really think through what is the best decision for you. What is your intuition leading you to do? Because even though we're tapped into our intuition, like I said, because of fears and all these other things, sometimes we don't hear our intuition clearly. So we have to pay attention to the signs, synchronicities, and see how things unfold before we make that decision. And if you're struggling with a decision like this, like, I wish you luck, because it's not easy uprooting your life. Or if you're struggling with another decision where it's a big life change, then I wish you luck as well. Just take your time, don't rush things. If you have a place where you're comfortable and you're not triggered and that's your own space, then wait, because things will work out in your favor. The more that you trust, the more that you lean in, and the more you surrender instead of trying to control everything. And the universe is never working against you. It's working with you to reach your highest timeline. It's trying to get you to learn lessons that you need to learn and build a stronger intuition. Not live in the materialistic mindset, not live in the things that are of this material world, like fears, anxiety, all of these things that the programming, all of these things that prevent you from hearing your intuition. It wants you to tap in. It wants you not to be distracted. It wants you to really trust. I think the fear of unknown is what gets us the most. Like, for me, the fear of, if I stay here, is it really going to work out? Am I going to really build a life for myself? Am I going to like the life that I built for myself? The fear of the unknown, in the sense of, I know what it's like being in that environment. I know how it's triggered me. Can it really be anything different? I don't know, because I'm a different person. Can that environment be something different? Because I choose to look at it. It's all about perception, how I choose to view that situation. So the fear of unknown prevents us a lot of time from making decisions, and sometimes we just have to jump in and take a risk. But we don't have to jump in blindly. We can weigh out all our options and think it through before we choose to go down a path. And if we do choose that path, then we have to learn to have a different perception on it and accept it, that this is my path. Now, how am I going to make it the best place possible? Whether it's staying or going, how am I going to make either of them the best place possible that's best for me? So it's like, don't let fear stop you from making a decision. Have clarity when you're about to make the decision. Feel it from your gut that it's the right decision for you. Like, if a risk feels fearful, like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen because of the unknown, but your gut is telling you that, no, this is the right choice. I know it's going to work out. I just have to take action and do the work to make it better. Then take that risk. Don't let that fear of, like, I don't know what's going to happen, prevent you from taking a risk, especially with business and all these things. Like, you got to take a risk, and even if you fail, you get back up and you learn things from that. Whatever the decision, even this big life decision, you fail, you get back up, and you, like, even me coming here, there was a big fear of the unknown, that how am I going to make a life for myself, all these things, and I still jumped in with two feet, did a risk, because I had a home to come to. So I was fearful, and I proved to myself that I can make a life and change things and heal and all these things. However, in terms of community and support, I haven't got that yet. But it doesn't mean that everything happens all at once. That takes time to build. I had to build myself first before I could allow anyone else in. So I don't regret that decision, because the amount of growth and healing and proving to myself that I am this resilient person. I knew I was, but doing it with 2 kids alone was like, yeah, you're a badass. Like, you can do anything that you put your mind to. You will overcome struggles. You will conquer. You will go after. You will work on your passions. You will make everything happen that you want to see happen for yourself. You're capable. You're more than capable of doing it. So I proved to myself. So even if I go back and I make that decision and say it's a risk that I, quote unquote, fail at, in the sense of I'm not happy when I go there and I'm like, oh my God, what did I come back to? At the end of the day, I can always come back here, and it's not a be-all, end-all. You just keep expanding and growing, and the universe will put more opportunities in front of you that will lead you to where you want to be if you keep expanding and growing and working on yourself and taking aligned action. So nothing is a failure if you see the lessons within it. If you don't see the lessons within it, then you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over, because the universe is going to keep sending you the same problem until you recognize, have self-awareness of it, and choose not to do those same mistakes again. That's how you learn, that's how you grow, that's how you expand, is by being aware of what's going on and why this is a trigger for you. And that's the problem, is that 85% of the population don't have awareness, don't take accountability, blame, and don't see their role to play in the matter. So when you start doing those things and trusting and having faith and surrendering and all these other things I've talked about now and before, then you are constantly led in the right direction. Mistakes you learn from easily because you have the self-awareness to learn from them. You recognize. So first step is having self-awareness, recognize your flaws, recognize your role to play in any situation, take accountability, see the lesson that the universe is trying to send you. If something's frustrating to you, something angers you, something makes you feel sad, something makes you feel overwhelmed, any of these emotions that are not uplifting, see, what am I meant to learn in this situation? Why do I feel like this? Why is this a trigger for me? And you will overcome it. So just by recognizing the lesson in it, having self-awareness about it, and I'm not saying it's going to change overnight. It's like, takes time for the new habit to form. It's just because you have self-awareness, every time you react or feel those emotions, then you're aware of it, like, oh, this is why I feel like this. This is what the lesson is trying to teach me. And then you pray about it. Pray to the Creator to help me overcome this, that I realize this is something that I don't want to be or want anymore. So when you pray about it, you're creating a new reality for yourself. You're self-aware of it, and you're telling the universe, I don't want to be this anymore. And the universe starts making it possible for you to overcome that. If overwhelm and anxiety is something for a thing, the universe starts making it that it's not, anxiety doesn't overwhelm you. That you might feel anxious at times, but it no longer overwhelms you anymore. So that's a huge difference. So by being self-aware of it and then praying about it, the universe works with you so that when that situation does arise that overwhelms you, the universe gets you to see, oh, this is a situation that overwhelms me. I'm just going to remove myself from the situation or do whatever I need to do to get out of the state so that I don't let it consume me. Because you had that self-awareness and you prayed about it, so you guys are working together to overcome this where it doesn't affect you anymore. And say that situation does overwhelm you and you weren't able to make the better choice in that moment. You haven't lost the self-awareness about it. Once you become self-aware that something is a problem that you don't want to do anymore, you'll keep having that nagging thought that, oh, I don't want to do this. Let me pray about it. Let me reflect. Let me do all the things of not wanting to do this again. Like, you have the tools to stop you from doing that, so you don't lose that self-awareness. So it's like, when people wake up, the awakening that we talk about, that, oh, you woke up, you're aware of what's going around you, it's like self-awareness. You're aware of what's going on in society and how they're trying to trick you, and then you're aware of yourself, your own shadows, your own flaws, and you want to better yourself and overcome that. So the first step is always self-awareness, and you can't lose that once you've woken up to. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. When you're in an ignorant state, you're not aware of what's going on, but as soon as you get that awareness, the world changes for you. So it's like self-awareness allows you to hear your intuition better. Self-awareness allows you to have faith. Self-awareness allows you to ascend, because once you become self-aware, you start changing things about you, and then you naturally start to ascend to a higher and higher consciousness, a higher and higher state of awareness. So self-awareness is the first step to trigger anything, any sort of change within you and within the outside world. So work on being self-aware of everything, and then it will become second nature.